As incoming freshmen, you have several options when it comes to your math classes. There's multiple places that you can start. One of those places is a class called Foundations, which is setting the stage for algebra. It's basically a pre-algebra class. Another class that you can begin taking is Intermediate Algebra, which is essentially a lot of what's typically known as Algebra 1 and a little bit more than that. You can also start in Geometry. You could also start by taking an Algebra 2 class. What I'd like to help you think through is which one of these is the best for you. The thing I would like you to consider is not necessarily where you start, but rather where you're going to end your high school career in math. For instance, if you start in Algebra 2, your course load would be Algebra 2, Pre-Calculus, followed by Calculus your junior year, and then potentially Statistics your senior year. That's a very aggressive course load. If you take this track, it's because, number one, you absolutely love mathematics. Number two, it makes a lot of sense to you, and your algebra skills that you developed in middle school are excellent. That's the only way. Those are the types of students that should consider taking such an aggressive level of math. If you start in Geometry, your course load would look like this: Geometry, Algebra 2, Pre-Calculus, and then you can take Calculus or Statistics your senior year. That's a more traditional, typical student. And again, that means you're looking at taking Calculus by your senior year. So again, if you love mathematics, this might be a place where you would do well. Probably the standard track would be to start in Algebra 1, go to Geometry, go to Algebra 2, and take Pre-Calc by your senior year. That would be a very solid math track in high school. If you took all four of those classes and you did well in them and you understood them, you would be more than prepared for anything that you would need to do in college. The only way that you need to take a placement exam is if you are desiring to start in an upper level class. In other words, if you want to start your first year in Algebra 2, you'll need to take the placement exam that shows that you know algebra well enough that you won't be lost in an Algebra 2 class. If you want to take Geometry, you need to take a different algebra test that shows that you have basic competency in algebra, so that when you have to use algebra in the geometry class, you will be capable of doing that. If you want to start in Foundations, or if you want to start in Intermediate Algebra, or in our hybrid course of Algebra 1/Geometry, then there's no need for you to take a placement exam. Make that decision wisely. And in my experience as a teacher, slower in math is better than faster for the vast majority of students.